Today we are making this idli recipe. You can see how soft and pillowy it is. We are not using any baking soda and there is no eno. In this idli recipe there is a small secret which makes all the difference. So let's begin cooking. So the ratio is 1 part of whole skinless urad or sabat urad. You have to use the whole variety for best result. Along with this, rice rava 3 parts. This is also known as idli rava or cream of rice. And 1 part of poha or chivda, the same one that we use for making kanda poha. 1 cup of dal, 3 cups of rice rava and 1 cup of chivda. Take the dal in a bowl and wash it with water until clean. I have changed the water thrice and now this looks good. We will add fresh water and soak the dal. I am also adding about half a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds and we will soak this together for about 4 to 6 hours. In a separate bowl, we will take 3 cups of our rice rava and wash it as well until clean, at least twice guys, and then we will soak it in fresh water for about 4 to 6 hours. Guys, please don't waste water. I gave the dal and the rice cleaning water to plants. They will love it guys. And after 5 hours, here I am taking the poha in a bowl. We will wash it as well until clean. After that, add some fresh water and soak it for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, see how this has soaked really well, and the dal and the rice rava is also well soaked. It's been 6 hours. Now to make the batter, wet grinder usually gives a better result when compared to a normal mixer jar. Don't worry guys, I'm going to share tips to make it in a mixer jar as well. For the wet grinder process, turn it on, add water to moisten the stones, and then we will add the soaked dal a little at a time. If you add a lot, then the stones can stop, it can clog up guys. Add it in small batches. All the dal is in. Now we will add some water and grind it. Use the spatula every now and then to clean up the sides. This will help to crush up the dal really well. Now we just have to let this grind and add water every now and then. In this method, the dal does not heat up, so we get a softer idli. If you are making this recipe in a mixer jar, there are 2 main tips. First, you have to grind the dal in low speed in the mixer jar. Use chilled water as and when needed and grind it in small batches. This basically avoids heat buildup. And the second tip is, as there is minimal or no air when you make it in a mixer jar, after making the batter, after grinding the dal, you have to whip the batter for a good 10 minutes by hand to make it fluffy. These 2 tips will change the game for you. So the dal has been grinding in this wet grinder for the last 5 minutes. Now I cannot see the grains anymore, so now we are going to add the poha. But first, squeeze out the excess water from the poha, then add it in. The poha will naturally take a lot of water along with them and the dal will grind really well along with the poha. Now from here, it will take about 15 minutes to grind them both together. The wet grinder is really slow at doing things, that's why the heat does not build up and the air also comes along with it. Use the spatula every now and then to clean up the sides as well as the stones so that all the dal and the poha is grinding really well, and you can add water if it is getting too thick. Here you can see after 15 minutes the dal batter is done. It is very fluffy and smooth. Let's take it out into a large bowl. This is just like whipped cream guys, you can see how fluffy this is. Looks perfect. The batter is in the bowl now. Remember the rice rava that we soaked? We have to add that to the dal now without excess water. So with hands, take some out, squeeze it with your fingers, just like this. Your whole hand, and then add it to the dal. Just like this we have to do with all the rava. If you add a lot of water along with the rice rava, then the batter will get too thin, which we don't want. So takes a couple of minutes to squeeze out all the water from the rava. Now that's done, with hands we will mix this both together for a good couple of minutes. This step is essential for a good result and a great fermentation. The batter is very fluffy guys, and one more small thing guys, do ensure the bowl is at least twice the size of the batter that you are doing, otherwise the batter can come out of the bowl after the fermentation is done. Here you can see the batter is done for me. I am cleaning up the sides. Now I am lining a cloth below and we will cover the bowl with a lid and cover it totally with a cloth. If you are making it in winters, you can also use a shawl to do this step. Let this ferment overnight or a minimum of 8 hours and then our batter will be done. Small thing guys, if you keep this in a very warm place then also the idli does not come out soft. So it needs to be room temperature. Next morning, see the batter, looks amazing isn't it? With this much batter we can make 64 idlis, pun intended. Right now I am just making half, that is 32 idlis, so I am taking out some batter in a bowl. Rest of the batter you can store it in the fridge and let it come to room temperature whenever you plan to use it. To make the idlis, add salt in the batter and mix it really well. If the batter is thick like this, you can add water to adjust the consistency. I am also adding some. Now the batter looks good. Here comes the secret, which is lining our idli trays with cloth. This is marking cloth. Mostly people use marking cloth or cotton cloth. I've basically trimmed it to the size of our idli tray. Guys, this step makes all the difference in the recipe. The cloth will ensure the idlis are steamed very gently. They do not get a shock of the heat and they come out softer. Plus we don't have to use any oil to grease the idli trays, so win-win situation isn't it? So just get the cloth moist by washing it in water and squeezing out all the excess water. You can use this cloth n number of times. It's not that you can just use it once or twice. One more small thing, I forgot to heat up the water, so I am adding some water to our idli cooker and let's let it heat. In that time, we will line our idli trays with the cloth and spoon the batter that we made earlier. As I said, there is no need to grease the idli trays, just ensure the cloth that we are using is not dry. If you haven't seen idlis being made outside, then it might sound weird as to why we are using a cloth in idli making. There's a big reason guys, most places use it. I'll make a tray without cloth as well by greasing it normally with oil like we do and show you the difference. So the idlis are ready to cook, let's place it in the steamer. We will steam it for about 15 minutes. Initially, keep the flame high until the lid pops up. After that, lower it to medium and cook it for a total of 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, see how fluffy and pillowy these look. There are no cracks as well. Let's take it out. Right now these are way too hot. We'll wait for 2 minutes. After that, flip it over a plate and take out the cloth just like this. Wasn't that satisfying? You'll be extremely satisfied once you try this method guys. See how light these are, not at all heavy, and the texture, I tell you, soft and fluffy. Well, all recipes call that. You can see the texture right now in the video itself, how easily this tears away. This type of texture generally is really tough to get without using soda. Try this method, you'd be a fan. For making again, you need not do anything, just use the same cloth. If it feels very sticky, then you can keep the cloth in water for about 5 minutes before using again. And the last one is without cloth. The process is same guys for cooking it. There is no difference in cooking. After it is done, this one is with the cloth. You can see looks fantastic isn't it? And the one that we made directly on the plate, you can see the difference. This one is denser compared to that. Here's a side by side view. The cloth one cooks gently so the air pockets remain, it doesn't get a heat shock guys. With a cloth that doesn't happen, so the idlis come out very soft. So that's how you can make super soft idlis at home without using any soda. So how was the recipe guys? If you enjoyed it, give it a like. I'm 100% sure you will enjoy it once you try it. I hope to see you soon with one more recipe. If you did not like this one, click the dislike button. Bye guys, take care, happy cooking, stay safe.